Hello, everyone. This is our weekly live broadcast where we discuss everything that has anything to do with search engine optimization and optimizing for AI visibility, however you call it. I feel like at this point we have two abbreviations that are winning, that is GEO, Generative Engine Optimization, and AEO, which is answer engine optimization. I have my personal opinion about both of those, but I feel like it doesn't count. The audience will choose, and it looks like those two are sticking so far. I'm Anne Sumari. I have been in SEO for more than 20 years at this point, and now I'm the co-founder of our own boutique SEO and GEO agency that is based in New York. With me today and always, our director of social and actual Reddit expert. I'm mostly learning from my team, but she knows much more about Reddit, which is the topic of today. We keep discussing Reddit for one and only important reason. It is a hot topic these days, but it is very much misunderstood. Most businesses do not know how to approach it. Those who attempt tend to do that the wrong way. So we are doing our best to educate everyone. And also Reddit is in the overlap between the old SEO because it ranks very well organically and LLM SEO or AI SEO, which is because it gets cited and it is a strong part of training data for LLMs. So it is a very important topic at this point. That's why we keep discussing it. There are always many questions about Reddit through our leads, through our current customers, through just businesses that we interact on social media and elsewhere. So we are trying our best to educate on how to approach Reddit the right way. Before we go into Reddit, there are a few very important updates in our industry. And first of all, last week we announced Google Spam Update. It was the fastest in Google's industry. I think it took them a day to launch and to finish. My personal opinion on that is that they forgot to announce it at the right time, and that's why we only saw it officially for a day. The next day, after they announced they are done with their spam update, big news, the core update is going on right now. The core updates are much more difficult than spam updates because we don't know what Google is trying to achieve with each of them. It is the update to the core system, but let me remind you once again, helpful content signals are now part of core updates. So core updates may very well be penalizing. They may very well be punishing some publishers if the algorithm finds them unhelpful. Keep an eye on your Google clicks through Search Console, through Google Analytics, and let us know if you see any progress so far. It has been a very mild update. We haven't seen any major impact on any of our clients. So it's either just starting or it's going to be a mild one. We will see and we'll report you next week. But if you have any questions, ask those earlier. At smarty.marketing, we have a very handy option to get a quick call with me personally if you have any questions, and I will not try to sell you anything unless you ask for that. Another quick update from our industry, Peak AI, our partner with Smarty Marketing. We are collaborating with Peak AI on marketing and analytics processes. This is our friend in terms of AI visibility tracking. Peak AI came out with a new study, And that study shows that the top cited domains across ChatGPT, AI Mode, Gemini, and Perplexity are Reddit, surprise, the leader across all of those, Wikipedia, and YouTube. It's funny that YouTube is mostly the leader across Google LLMs, that is AI Mode and Gemini. Reddit is almost always either number one top cited domain or number two, depending on the LLM. So today's topic is very well aligned with this very new finding. If you want to know everything that's happening in LLM, in AI industry, please subscribe to my own subreddit. That is SEO for AI. You can Google it. That's where I share all those studies, my own experiments, other people's experiments. It's a very well curated subreddit, which we try to keep very focused and very noise free. It's there, you will find only something that matters. We also delete all repeat questions or all generic questions to keep it very, very useful. One last thing that I will be sharing in my subreddit today. I'm just too busy all over the place to be able to do it quickly. Claude has leaked its code. It's not the first leak in our industry. I mean, we've seen Yandex doing the same. It's always interesting when people who understand coding, or not me, I will mostly know who to follow, find some interesting stuff there. I'm keeping an eye on those. One interesting thing that was found is that Claude does check an LLM file before entering the website. That is one of the most interesting findings and the first ever confirmation that any LLM at this point is paying attention to those LLM text files. That has been a huge debate in our industry, whether they're useless, whether they're useful, whether anyone is using them. Officially, none of the LLMs is supporting them, but it looks like Claude is checking them. We don't know why that behavior exists. Maybe because that's artificial intelligence. They may have been reading a lot about LLMs and how they are useful for LLMs, and that's why they are checking them. We really don't know how that works, but it looks like Claude is paying attention. So I will be covering my perspective on that in my subreddit. Please subscribe to be the first to know everything in terms of SEO for AI. And finally, I took a while to share industry news. Sorry about that, but it has a lot. It's a lot to cover, especially this week. Sometimes there are barely any updates. This week there are quite a few of them, and we are here to keep you posted. So it's part of our goals for this broadcast. So we are talking today about Reddit and using it specifically for AI visibility. Last week, we talked about what to do and what not to do, what makes sense when it comes to marketing on Reddit just for AI, and what is a waste of time. The waste of time is buying threads and comments because you don't need one random mention on Reddit. You need context. That's how LLMs work. A quick disclaimer, I do not encourage you to go on Reddit just for LLM visibility. Never a good idea, and never to use a channel, especially as powerful as Reddit, just to influence other channel. It usually results in poor implemented strategy, poorly managed expectations. It is just not something that is right to do, and marketing strategies are never about just one goal. Unless you think broader and you have more long-term goals, like building community on Reddit, not just being like providing customer support, interacting, managing your reputation in a way when miserable, angry editors become your happy customers. Unless you have those higher level goals in your mind, chances are, it's my experience talking right now, you will not achieve much. So just for AI visibility, it's not worth it. There are many more channels that can help you build visibility on LLMs, including other publications, digital PR, your site, your social media channels. There are many more channels that can help you do that right. If you on Reddit just for LLM visibility, it is mostly not going to work. But like I say, we usually think about any channel on many levels. One of them, yes, it's going to be LLM visibility, not the only one. Remember that. But one of those goals will be LLM visibility. Our Reddit marketing strategy is always a combination of many things. We want branded rankings in Google. We want LLM visibility. We want just community building benefits of having your own subreddit. So we always target all of that and we report on all of that. But if we have to take one piece of that, we do very strategically come up with any steps we should be taking in order to have for that subreddit to help influence the sentiment around your brand when it comes to AI. First of all, and I did cover that last week, Reddit is very seldomly used to pick the brands or products that it wants to mention in the answer. For example, if anyone is asking what are the best shoes for running in spring, Reddit, ChatGPT will very seldom go to Reddit first because there are much easier formats and much more trustworthy publications that give you options without all that research on Reddit. ChatGPT will go to Reddit to research if any of those options it was able to find through its training data or through live searches. It will go to Reddit to confirm that each of those options is worth mentioning on Reddit. That's why, especially recently, you will see a lot of site colon searches in ChatGPT, and many of those searches will be site:reddit.com and the product or a brand name. ChatGPT wants to know user-generated context around any product or brand it's going to pick up. And if yours is very questionable, then chances are ChatGPT either will skip you or will make a very obvious note in the answer why you may not be the best option to consider. And that is where you can build your LLM visibility through many channels, through all kinds of marketing that you will be investing in. But unless you manage the context around your brand, and it's not just Reddit, it could be also reviews elsewhere, depending on your niche, if it's B2B tool or platform that's going to be G2 that can be checked for the user reviews. But Reddit is almost always, for most industries, will be one of those methods to check your reputation and what people are saying about you. So if you are not on Reddit, and chances are, in most cases, 95% of people talking about your brand will be talking about it in a negative way. And that is the problem that most businesses are dealing with, because obviously people who are happy are not as motivated. They do not have that incentive to go to Reddit and share their experience unless they are over the moon happy and just cannot hold it, and they will go and do that. In most cases, people going to Reddit are already angry, and every business has, unfortunately, some customers who are not happy with the experience. It can be very well. I haven't seen any business that didn't have a single negative review. So it's always Reddit that curates those. And if you are not on Reddit balancing that sentiment, you will probably see 95% of negativity there. So with that in mind, knowing how LLMs tend to use Reddit, what are the metrics of success that you will be seeing if you do it right, or reporting if you are doing that for someone? Most of our leads are interested in clicks and impressions. Yes, I understandably, that's what we've been trained to measure success by for years and years. We do report on those as well, but that is not an actual success metric for us. What we do in terms of LLM visibility, again, just about that angle of Reddit. We do report on organic branded search. So what we want to see if is more control over Reddit packs when it comes to searching for the brand name, when it comes to searching for brand name reviews, brand name scam, brand name legit, brand name Reddit, all those queries that are usually not controlled by brands at all. We want to not to replace what it is now there, but balance. We own the golden rule about Reddit reputation management. We own negative reviews. Many of them will be legit unhappy people, unless that's competitive attack. That also happens when when competitors start negative campaign on Reddit against you. That also happens. Very easy to identify, tell, and much easier to solve. But if it's legit Reddit review from your past customer, you own it. You do not get angry. You know that there is something has happened. You try to fix it if it's a large problem. If you cannot fix it, you own it. And it will rank for your branded search. At least some of those threads will remain ranking. You cannot delete or hide that sentiment, and it's only natural for every business. That is something all of us have to live with. There are people who are not happy with us, but without your voice there, it looks like there are only unhappy people there. So our job as your subreddit managers is actually balance that negativity with some input from other customers that are actually happy. And in most cases, even when Reddit reputation is very bad, trust me, there are companies with a very bad Reddit reputation. In most cases, 80% of the customers are actually happy. They just didn't say anything publicly, and our job is to make their voices visible as well. So the best and the top metric that we are always looking at is how the subreddit is surfaced in organic search. Why we start with organic search is because that is what LLMs also search. That is what they are likely to find. In most cases, organic visibility correlates with LLM visibility. It's maybe organic visibility may start earlier, a little earlier than LLM citability. So we look at that. We look at branded searches, and we want really those brand searches to grow in impressions and variety. Again, just managing your own subreddit may not be enough for more brand visibility, at least at the beginning. So there are a lot of actions that you should be taking, whether yourself or whether hiring an agency for that. We do all kinds of other activities outside of the subreddit, expert commentary, hosting MAAs, all of that is driving more brand visibility and branded search impressions. So ultimately, we want to see that. We do check LLM citations as well. We check them only for branded prompts. So when someone is actually asking, is this business trustworthy? Is this product good? Because Reddit is just one piece of LLM visibility. So we cannot be responsible unless we are doing the whole LLM strategy. If it's just Reddit, we focus on Reddit and branded prompts. And our goal is that those threads that we have inside our subreddit actually are visible for those prompted searches and branded prompts, and they are cited there. We report and track that as well. And the one of the most successful and important things that should happen with your subreddit, you will get most of the reviews inside your subreddit. This is a huge success metric. And we always tell clients, whether that's negative review or a positive one, you want all of that inside your subreddit because you have more control there. You can manage the situation much faster, much more efficient. You can publicly be present and show how you're willing to fix everything. We have a client, I just shared that cool quick case study this week on my social media, that is actually surprised how those situations are manageable when they are inside the subreddit versus elsewhere. When there is a negative review inside your subreddit, that is a success metric. Again, we are not there to fix the negativity. It's your job. Our job is to tell you the pain points and ask you if those are fixable or how we should manage them. We cannot fix your business. We can only help you by research through Reddit. So there will still be negative reviews. The goal of reputation management is not to erase negativity. It's to balance. It's to add your happy customers in that context, your official voice in that context. So we always tell the clients that whichever review comes into your subreddit, first, do not delete it. Yes, you have the power. It's inside your subreddit. Don't do that, because that's a good way to make that unhappy customer even angrier and even unhappier. And then he will or she will go elsewhere to being even angrier. Manage if situation. Don't be ashamed of negative reviews. Be proud of how you handle those. I guess that is the golden rule of managing the negativity on Reddit, and it's much more doable and effective when all of that flows into your subreddit. So the growth of reviews about your company inside your branded subreddit is one of the most important metrics that we are measuring for our clients. With that, I do have a hard stop today because I have a meeting. So we will not do overtime like we usually do. Let's answer a few questions so that I have time to jump into my next meeting right away.
Here's an easy one.
Who can we hire to build a subreddit? Thank you, Alan. Alan is my very, very old friend, and he knows the answer. Us, yes. Smart marketing. We've been on Reddit for many, many years, 15 plus, at least my team. I'm much less experienced, but I'm also learning. And it's been a couple of years that I've been learning all kinds of strategies and tactics on Reddit, what to do, what not to do. And I also report those on social media in case you want to get educated and try to do that in-house. But definitely we know what we are doing, and I always tell clients or leads that the benefit of our approach is that it is long term. The drawback of it, if it takes time, it's almost like the same thing, but it's both pro and con. But yes, we are a long-term ethical but result-driven Reddit marketing agency.
That actually was one of my first questions. How long does it typically take to start seeing more influence over branded organic rankings through having a branded subreddit?
Yes, April is well aware that is one of the most popular questions when we discuss Reddit strategies with the leads. I always say, and it's not the new answer for me for sure. Ever since I started providing SEO services, the question was, when can we see the rankings? And I'm always like, well, it depends. Google is not ours. We don't know, but we know the steps and the playbook to achieve that. It, of course, has many but ifs or depends on. Usually, if your brand has a lot of negative presence on Reddit, it's harder because we just have to compete with more threads. If it's doable, it comes much faster. Our average is 6 months, but for some clients it's more. So for some clients it's less. Never, I don't think it has ever been less than 3 months.
We actually already addressed one of these that I had about like how to like handle negative reviews, so we can just skip that one.
No, it's a good one.
Sort of,
Yeah, just a quick note and like take away from what I was saying before, that you are happy with it. It's good news. And it's a learning curve for our clients. Many of our clients take all these negative reviews very personally and seriously. And I always say it is good news that it is inside your subreddit. This is where you can manage it. And we've had a lot of cases when actually those unhappy redditors become happy customers, and they stick with the subreddit and become members of it. So it's what you do. You change your mind shift. You do not get protective or offended. You're happy that is happening inside your subreddit, and you actually try to help. You publicly comment saying how we're going to manage that situation, and you can also DM. That is the beauty of having your own subreddit, is that you are moderating it. You can send private messages to your own subscribers and members without the fear to have any problems with Reddit. So it's after that, however you manage the reviews is happening. You know how you do not want to be generic saying like, I'm sorry it happened, how we can help. You actually are very personal and showing that you are ready to fix the situation, and you take the feedback very seriously.
really good one. Do this one really quick.
What are some considerations you weigh when developing the right approach for a client on Reddit? Definitely, every time it is a different, unique flower. Absolutely, I can tell you this. Anytime a new lead comes, I am telling them we don't have the playbook. We take every situation separately. If the client has a huge negativity issue on Reddit, this is where we focus on engaging their clients, working on the workflows, on how to naturally drive clients to the subreddit that had some experience and can be very detailed about what and why they bought or what the experience was. So that situation is managed with the current clients of that current customers of that client. This is one situation when we want some exposure, give voice to current clients, that whether they had good or bad experience, we want them to be inside the subreddit and talk about their experience, and we work with customer support of that client to help them address every situation. That is the focus on engaging current clients, because we want authentic, real reviews inside our subreddit. If it's a negative situation, but it is not as huge, or we have clients where we have a huge negative situation, but they cannot say anything outside of that, because that is just not fixable. We have a client who just has higher pricing than all of that competitors, and they get a lot of hate on Reddit because of that. But that is nothing we can fix or they can fix. It's their pricing. They have reason for that. They take much more challenging cases, so they charge more, but it's nothing that we can fix. They charge more. What we do there is we create authority voice. We do MAAs for them. We feature their employees that have definitive expertise on the topic. We cover news, not just cover news, but provide a first-hand commentary on everything that's going on in the industry. So we focus on building trust and authority without trying to fix the sentiment. So it's very different from case to case. Sometimes it's just brand awareness, and clients do not have any negative reviews on the site. So it can be very different. And now I do have to leave. Please subscribe andsmarty.com. Keep those questions coming. I will address them as soon as I'm done with my meetings today. And subscribe andsmarty.com, which is where you can find the topic for each week and have the link to join these broadcasts and ask your questions. Thank you so much for those. See you next week, 1 p.m. EST. Please keep your